During the past times, dyes were created through the use of minerals, berries, roots, plants, and wood. But some things people would encounter with this way of dyeing clothes was fading, too expensive, the colors not strong enough, or limited amount of resources. Soon they found a way to prevent clothes from fading or turning dull, and that was through making moderate dyes, which was when a metal ion would be infused with the fabric dye. The color within dyes is determined through 3 different ways, and one of them is based on which wavelength each fabric can absorb. Next is through the amount of OH ions a molecule has. Lastly, color is based off the amount of double/single bonds a molecule has. When making indigo, a plant called Ingophera tinctoria has to go through a process known as fermentation, and during this process, another one known as oxidation occurs. When undergoing fermentation, the leaves of the plants are soaked with urine or are covered with ashes and are left to ferment. While fermenting, a molecule within the plant named indican is reacting with the oxygen in the air to create indigogen, and as a result, this is created. When creating royal purple, it underwent through similar processes, like the indigo. The reason this color represents royalty is due to the fact that it was harder to find back then. This color was mostly found within a gland instead of a sea mollusk. So when this gland reacts with the oxygen in the air, it begins to turn purple and creates a molecule called dibromoindigo. When creating red, you can obtain this from a molecule known as alizarin. The base of this molecule is known as anthraquinone, which is colorless. But once OH ions are added, the color changes. This can be found in insects, plants, fungi, and lichens. Another base structure that is also colorless is known as naphthoquinone. But once OH ions are added to the molecule, a color known as scarlet is created. Back around the time of war, there was 2 different uses for citric acid, one of them being an explosive and the other for dyes. The molecule responsible for this is a color known as quercetin. So a man known as Perkin had began research that focused on trying to replicate that color. But as a result, he ended up with a color known as mauve, which soon became popular. During the Industrial Revolution, since dyes had become in high demand, people couldn't keep up, so they created factories to manufacture them. And as a result, 3 major companies were created, which are known as BASF, Bayer, and Hoetz. Soon after, Germany became the major place where dyes were being manufactured because of 2 reasons. The reasons were because the universities and corporations were collaborating together and because Britain would import useful resources that are crucial to creating dyes. With the help of dyes, it helped distinguish which country was which when it would come to war. The redcoats were the French, and for the Americans, they were seen as the bluecoats. During World War II, a company known as IG Farben had began working with Hitler. And with their help, Hitler was able to create concentration camps and gain the resources he needed to make war. IG Farben would take over chemical plants in order to create these concentration camps, but after World War II, the people who helped Hitler out got arrested.